Hello everyone, my name is Ben, aka BJ for family. So before I begin, as always, everything I'm about to say herein is in regards to something that happened to me about 9 years ago that I wrote a book about 3 years ago. And this is video 5 of 5 because this is going to be my last video. And the book is called Lands of Souls, Tweaker to Believer. If you're interested in the book, I do have a Facebook page under the name. And I also have these videos. This is supposed to be for promotional purposes. I was supposed to originally stop at 3. I was having fun doing them, so I kept going. And after the fourth one, I was thinking to myself, man, I can just keep going with this. And I was like, but is that smart? So I prayed on it, and after praying on it, yes, this is definitely gonna be my last video for a lot of reasons. Just the main ones are, it's the last day of 2020. I want to end these with 2020. Another reason I found out yesterday is that I risk, by doing these streams and videos, people risk making themselves energetically sick. When that happens, when you do a stream or a vlog, and all of a sudden someone starts to troll you, or people start harassing you on videos that you only meant nothing but good intentions on, and then from there you do another video retorting against whatever they said or whatnot, and then your demeanor's different, your energy's different, lowered, and I can't have that. If you've been watching these videos, you know that energy is very important to me on a lot of levels, and not being able to go to church in person and be around fellow believers of God and of Christ, it's hard to retain. It's harder to retain this positive spiritual energy. So this is gonna be my last one. Also, I just I just think it's time. So and then speaking of the other videos, with this being number 5, the stuff I'm going to cover on this video, it goes real deep. If you saw none of my other videos, this video will probably make no sense to you. You can still watch it, of course, because I think it's going to have one of the most meaning under it, behind it, whatnot. So yeah, still feel free to stick around. And I want to speak on Goat Woke. So I've been putting that on the videos, Goat Woke, Lands of Souls theories. Goat Woke is because earlier this year when I first heard goat, oh, it's the goat, ooh, it's the goat, and I was like, the goat, who's the goat? Oh, is it a badass Capricorn? I'm Capricorn, so I'm like, is there another badass Capricorn? Who's the goat? And I kept hearing it, kept looking to see who the goat was, and I didn't understand the goat. Then I saw it written with initials GOAT, which is greatest of all time. I didn't know that. So I do think I'm the greatest of all time Capricorn. So no, I'm just kidding. I don't think that. But anyways, but it was in reference to me, what I thought the goat was, and I'm doing these videos, and I'm Capricorn, and I'm spiritually awake, absolutely. So that's where a goat will comes from. This is going to be a more serious video compared to my other videos. It's going to have there's some stuff in here that happens that's really personal, and I'm saying this is going to be a serious one, even though they all are serious. I mean, we're over here talking about death. We're talking about what happens after death. We're talking about our souls, our eternal souls. I'm talking about it's being talked about on how to retain your soul, in this world that's designed to steal it away. It's pretty crazy. So it's all been serious, but this one just has a little deeper meaning for me compared to the other ones. Another reason I'm not doing anymore is because these videos in regards to chapters that I've pondered for years, that I think I have an understanding of. The other chapters, there's 3 other realm chapters that I didn't speak on, that I'm still trying to figure out myself. So I would have been up here stuttering and stalling, and on theories I haven't thought all the way through, or they have controversial thoughts on top of those thoughts. So I'm not doing those videos. Those videos would have been Unofficial Realm, the Land of Cloud, which was originally the first original copy of the book. It was called Cloud-like City because they were cloud-like, but they weren't clouds. I mean, I can't touch a cloud. It had physical. I could physically touch whatever the soft substance we were stepping on. And then Renaissance Carnival, that was one I got trapped on. So we're going to be talking today on the Swamp Garden realm and why I stopped playing with the dimensions. Okay, so we'll start with the Swamp Garden realm. This Swamp Garden realm had two very significances in regards to it. Two things that were different from any of the other realms. The first thing was I didn't go nowhere, so to speak. On this world, it was almost like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. How as they're walking through the closet, all of a sudden the closet, the hangers turned to like vines and wood and leaves and stuff. That's kind of what happened with this. I went to sleep. I went to sleep. Jeez. So I closed my eyes, and when I closed my eyes, I did the whole shifting to a different place. And upon shifting, I got up and I looked around and I was like, wait a minute, I'm still, this is still my house. I was like, I know my house when I see it, but it was elongated and had vines and it had branches, and there was a lake, or there was a little pond area, almost like a riverbed, and everything was elongated. It went from this, like, I was in the living room at the time, and it turned into like the size of like a food court inside of a mall. That's what happened. And then from there, and this is the only one. Every other time I went to a different world or a different realm or dimension, whatever, what have you, whatever you want to say, it would be something totally, completely, like, it was things that like made no sense to me, the things that I've never seen before. This was like where the wild things are, right? I can remember how his room started to transform and stuff. So it was like that, where it was a jungle, or it was a swamp, and I call it a swamp because it was murky, it was damp, it was dark, and there was leaves and everything all over the place, and like vines and stuff coming over and everything. So it was very very sulky. And then the other significance with this one was the fact that there was no, okay, I call it Lands of Souls, and because of this one, Swamp Garden Land, I almost didn't call it Lands of Souls because this one didn't have souls. It had just, when I first got there, I was like, okay, I'm still technically, I'm like, didn't go nowhere, but this is odd, or this is interesting. And I was like, I thought no one was here at first, and I was like, okay. So I was about to leave, and all of a sudden I saw something move, and I looked, and it was not the background, but like the wall that was now covered with bushes and shrouds. It something came out. It came out from the wall. It came out from the wall, and then from there it looked like the Swamp Thing. It basically had the whole environment was its clothing, so it was packed with like branches and trees and leaves and grass and stuff, and it looked like the Swamp Thing. That was the best way I could describe how it looked. And then as it came out, it was coming out slow, right? And I was like, oh, that's crazy. When I was like, whoa, but then I didn't go whoa. I was like, whoa, and it was like everything was in slow motion. This whole world was in slow motion. That was very interesting. And then from there, but the thing that when it came out, I sensed familiarity, but the familiarity I sensed was different from any other entities or souls that I had a familiarity with. With this one, it felt like it was like a long lost cousin, or a family member, a familiar family member, to where I almost had an idea of who it was. Anyways, but it came up to me, and it took out its hand, and I felt I felt friendly vibes from it. So I was like, okay, this is weird, but it's all weird, right? So I slowly take its hand, and from there, it slowly started taking me everywhere inside the swamp garden. It was showing me around, and I was like, this is, in a sense, this is like my house still. So I don't know why you're showing me around, but I felt like it needed to show me around, and there was nothing else here. So I was like, I was okay. So I let it show me around. It felt like I was there for about 10 minutes. But then the sun started coming up, which meant that even though time was really slow there, in our world, our realm, our dimension, time was still going super fast. So with that, I was like, okay, every time the sun comes up, it's I don't even know if I could stay if I want to, but I always leave, and I was about to I was like saying goodbye to it, and then all of a sudden it started getting real frantic. And as it got real frantic, it from there it reached out. No, from there it started to take off like the stuff on this arm. It just started taking everything off. And as it was taking everything off, I was like, well, what's it doing? And then when it took everything off, its hand was rotting flesh. It wasn't a skeleton. It wasn't a skeleton bone, but I did see bone through the rotting flesh. It was disgusting. It was nasty. And then with this rotting flesh hand, it started coming at me. And from there, I was like, whoa, right? But then from there, it wasn't whoa. It was whoa. It was going in regular time now, and I was going in slow motion. It was all bad. I couldn't get away. I couldn't do anything about. I was going like this. It was going like that. So it touched me, and when it touched me, a cold chill went up my spine, and there was like a shake. I don't remember any noises, but from the shake, I closed my eyes, and then I opened my eyes, and I was back in this dimension. That was the first time and the only time that I came back without wanting to. I was going to come back in anyways on my own, but any other times, the only ways I were able to come back was when I wanted to, except for this time. Okay, so now why I stopped playing with the dimensions. I stopped playing with the dimensions because I stopped playing with the dimensions because playing with the dimensions, I did the XYZ. I did the XYZ of playing with the dimensions for the first time, and I was doing it for about 3 years, and this happened a couple months ago. And when I did it, it worked. It worked, and then I didn't expect it to work. And what I was trying to do didn't work, but it's still, what I was trying to do didn't work. The concept of, I'm going to do this and that and then that didn't work. It's like, oh, well, and then I turned around, but by turning around, I shifted around, and then I opened my right eye, and my right eye was in another dimension, just my right eye. Everything was, and then I say it now because it wasn't like the other realms. This time it was just like the Swamp Garden realm. So when I opened my eyes, it was still the same, but things were warped, and things were different, and they were different in shape. And I was like, as I was looking, I was like, oh my gosh, and I was blinking, but when you do my as I do my playing with the dimensions, blinking has no relevance. Blinking, if anything, further keeps you there. So as I was blinking to get focused, and as I was blinking, it was coming. I was in late night. I was outside, and as it started coming into focus, though, only my right eye, my left eye was fine. As it started coming into focus, the tree in front of me, I was looking. It wasn't a tree no more. It was solid. And then as I was looking at it, it had a shape. It was like a big giant gnome, like garden gnome, right? And I'm like, what the heck? And as I'm looking at it, I start trying to blink to try to get in focus. And as I'm looking at it, all of a sudden I noticed the eyes, and it's staring at me. I'm like, okay, kind of cool. I'm kind of tripping out, but this is the first time I've done this, so it's been years. So I was kind of tripping out, but I just let it be. But then as I noticed, it wasn't staring at me; it was glaring at me. It was glaring with a glint in its eye, directly at me. and that tripped me out. And I was like, so I was like this, looking at it, looking at the world and everything, and then like, saw that, and then from there, started staring back, and it was glaring at me, and I didn't like the way it was glaring. It wasn't different, but the glare was like, "What are you doing?" And so from there, I was like, okay, I'm done. And so I looked with both eyes, and then started blinking to get, like, to stop it. And as I started blinking, everything just slowly started melting back, and everything was fine. Then from there, about 5 minutes after, 7 minutes after that, all of a sudden my eye, and this is why, this all goes into why I don't do it. All of a sudden my eye started to like, how like if you don't work out you haven't worked out in months, and all of a sudden you work out, you go in super hard, you do a full hard on workout, with weights and stuff. The next day, you're sore, but then you also get like muscle, like, spasms. They like, start to spasm a little bit. Well, yeah, that's what happened with this. All of a sudden, my face, my right side of my face, like about right here, and about right here, started to spasm. The muscles started like, twitching, and I was like, what is that? Like, why is it doing that? I was like, it was tripping me out. I was like, I took it to the extreme. I was like, oh my gosh, I knew I shouldn't have did it. Playing with stuff I shouldn't be playing with. I knew it. And this is why. I knew it. Oh man, oh my god, what's wrong with my eye? What's going to happen to it? What does this mean? And I was all tripping out. But then it stopped, and then it did it again a little bit the next day. And then I think again the third day, a little bit, and then it stopped. And then, as time went by, I was like, as it stopped, I wasn't really tripping on it as much. I was like, wasn't paranoid on it. Maybe, it's not as bad as I thought it could be. But it was already, sometimes it did the eye thing. At first I was like, that's kind of cool, that's kind of trippy. And then why was it just one side? And I was like, once again, here I am doing stuff I don't understand. Is this smart? And I was thinking of possibly doing it again, but then I decided no, I'm not playing with the dimensions anymore. But I was already, with these videos and stuff. With these videos, lately, these last couple of weeks, I was thinking, okay, I don't have to do the XYZ. And I say XYZ because in the first videos, I say that, ultra 3D pictures, 2D pictures with 3D pictures and 2D pieces of paper, 2D designs, however you want to say it. I was saying that, this is the ABC version of playing with the dimensions, and I said in another video that, if you can't do this ABC version of it, you can't do the XYZ version of it. And there's actually a LMNOP version of playing with the dimensions that I was doing these last couple of years. Just it's me just playing with the theories based off of what I have, based off of what happened to me, and then testing those theories with certain aspects, and then with that I found a certain exact way each time where it was every time I do this LMNOP version of playing with the dimensions, it was untraining my thought processes of 3D, of how I see it, and how the subconscious things that we tell ourselves when it comes to 3D dimensions and focusing and unfocusing. And so with that, and so with that, I went ahead and I planned on doing the LMNOP version for videos. It's one like part 6 or part 7 or something. But then when I did it, I didn't. What I did was I need to make sure I know what I'm talking about. I need to make sure what I'm saying works. So I did the LMNOP version of playing with the dimensions, and then when I was done, I was talking out loud because I was gonna do this step by step and do it with you guys or whatever. But then when I was done, it happened again. My right eye, everything in my right eye warped, and from there I was thinking, and it's funny that I compared it to working out, because those muscles hurt and they're spasming and stuff, but they're also getting stronger, and they're getting prepared for you to do whatever you did again. And it wasn't until I did the XYZ that it did that, and all of a sudden I'm doing the elemental P, and it did it, and it didn't go to another. Dimensions are tricky. It's theory, and it's theory that I'm just figuring out on my own, but it didn't. It changed my right eye, and it was permanent. I was like, it was in focus. I was looking, and things were warped, and but it was still here, but it wasn't. It was just warped. I don't know. I was thinking to myself, subconsciously, I wonder how many times if I do this sequence, how many more times I do the sequence, will I just edge to, will I be edging to somewhere else? But no, I don't think so. I don't think so, because I never, I don't think I don't know if that's what it was doing, but I don't care, because if you read my book, if you plan on reading my book, in the end I say that I could think of ways to recreate what happened to me to do it again. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again because it happened when I was near death. And being near death, also now I'm able to see these different worlds. That tells me in death there's more, and that's all I need to know. Here in this realm, in this dimension, we're supposed to experience life, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to do. That's what I've been doing ever since I cherished life. I'm not trying to later for all that. I'm trying to prepare for it. Gathering my spiritual energies for death. But no, this life is not about death. And if it's going to happen, if everybody has a death date, everybody's guaranteed to find out what's going to happen on the other side, why rush it? Why do that? Why take away what this beautiful world that's given to us? So, all I was trying, but at the same time, I was shifting to different worlds and coming right back. That makes no sense. How could you do that? How is that possible? It shouldn't be. And yet here I was doing it. So it was just a curiosity, and then I have these theories. How can I test them? And so what I was really doing, playing with the dimensions, was I was really just, I was trying to, I know there's a door now. I know the doors are shift away. I was trying to see the door. But then all of a sudden, here I am, and and it's not a door after all, it's a window. So I'm looking through a window. I'm like, and when it comes to me and windows, that's not good. Back in the days, when I was still selling drugs, I was slinging crystal meth out my mom's window. So I don't think that, windows are, I'm a door person now. And, but this opened up a window. I don't trust the window. I don't trust what it opened up. Another thing, here's where I think the significance of this video comes into play, is that, I'm going to go back to the Swamp Garden realm. I'm playing with dimensions, and all playing dimensions did was take me somewhere that looked like the Swamp Garden realm. And the Swamp Garden realm was murky, and it was nasty, and there was nothing there, and there was something there, but the something that was there had no, it had rotting flesh, and it was by itself, and it was, I was withholding hands. I was basically slow motion skipping along with it and everything, and as people, we're social, and I think it's embedded in our souls, and so playing with these dimensions, if all it's gonna do is and honestly, the bottom line is, when it comes to the Swamp Garden realm or land, I don't think it's a place that we're supposed to be. I don't think the dimensions right next to us are where we're supposed to go. I think we're supposed to go further out. The galaxy is very vast. There's billions of galaxies, and I don't care to try to do what I can here. Stuff I'm not supposed to do, to go to this next dimension over. What's there is not for us, not for me. So I'm not gonna do it. Yeah. This is, like I said, this is gonna be my last video. But even though it's my last video, it doesn't mean that you still read my book. All this video is an interpretation of what I got from what happened to me in what happened to me as an interpretation of what I got from what happened to me. So with that, it's what I got out of it. You read my book. My book is legit. My book has okay. So there's only one part of my entire book that I made up. The part I made up was in the water park land of Radioheads, and there's a DJ in there. I made up the DJ. The DJ wasn't real. I made it. It kind of. As I'm writing this story, writing down what I remembered. I just thought, a DJ in there, that would be kind of cool. That, to the fluidity and stuff, and of the book. So I threw that in there. That's the only thing in the book that is not true. That is it. That is it. Everything else, in full details. The sequences aren't won't be. The sequences are for the story flow, but but they're accurate. Everything else is accurate to a T. Everything else. So with that, you read my book, you analyze my book, you figure out whatever you figure out from my book. It is legit. So everything I've said from the for part 1 until part 5 is me sharing what I got out of my book. You read my book, you might get something else. Matter of fact, a lot of people get other stuff, and some stuff that people I share thoughts, and with that, as I talk to people, they give me insights on the book that I'm like, you know what? That makes more sense than what I got. That makes more sense than what I came up with, and then it gives me more understanding on it. So, and these are all theories, and as they're theories, I don't know if this stuff is true or not. How could I? It's all based off of stuff that's going to happen when we die. So, but it's something to go off of, and that's why I did all this in the first place. To know that there's, when I was going to these different realms, I was like, because I didn't even know, I had a problem with death for a long time in my life. I didn't, and to be in a different world and to be in another different world, I was very unprepared. Listening to the things that I've said that were out there can give you an idea or of understanding to ready yourself. However, there's only one way to ready yourself. If any of this is true, the one thing that's true in this is that there's energy and there's blackness. There's negative and positive energy, and we have to gather positive spiritual energy. And that's when I said that, whatever part that was on, I think that was part 2. Yeah, on Lands of Soul Theories part 2. That has significance. Everything else are theories and things that you could ponder on, like I do, or not. But either way, this ends my story. This ends the chapters. This ends my videos on my book. So, thank you for listening, and God bless.